Paris Hilton has been celebrated as a figurehead for 2000s nostalgia, promptly known as one of the most recognizable reality TV stars and influencers of her era. Since then, Paris has had a bit of an image rebrand. She decided to ditch the dumb blonde archetype that she admittedly played up and exaggerated for entertainment, for something that is a bit more real and personal, which led to her opening up about a lot of the traumatic situations and experiences she went through when she was younger. Her openness and rebrand was met with unanimous praise and seemed to have a domino effect of success for her. While Paris openly addressed her character in the way she presented herself in the 2000s and her traumatic youth, there was a part of her career and public image that she was shy to directly address or bring up until recently, and that is her history of homophobia and racism. I want to preface this by saying Paris Hilton was a grown adult when she made these remarks. I'm not saying it would be any better coming from a younger person as it relates to hurtful or ignorant things, but I do think being a kid in certain scenarios is much more forgivable, particularly when it comes to genuine ignorance and oblivion. I don't believe the same applies to when you're intentionally being malicious and harmful, but I do believe that either way that change for the better is at least capable. But of course, for a grown adult who's maliciously, intentionally, and repeatedly hurling insults or slurs and showing racism towards a group of people on multiple different occasions, it's a completely different and disgusting ballpark. Also, taking into account that none of this was addressed until decades later, when someone like Paris Hilton can't get away with saying these type of things anymore, at least publicly. Taken from the Pink News, the article reads, writing in her new book, Paris the Memoir, the Simple Life star explained that while living at the therapeutic boarding schools from the age of 16, she had to take part in group attack therapy, where participants were forced to hurl abuse at one another. Hilton, who was 42, said that the therapy sessions included the ugliest language possible, the N-word, the C-word, the F-word, not that F-word, the worst one. I look back on some of the things I said in the years after I left Provo, in the throes of PTSD, and I'm mortified, she wrote in the memoir, adding that she was horrified. The socialite has come under fire numerous times for her use of slurs and discriminatory language since her global rise to fame in 2003. In 2012, Hilton was recorded suggesting that gay men probably have AIDS. Gay guys are the horniest people in the world, they're disgusting. Dude, most of them probably have AIDS, Hilton said in the audio clip. She later apologized for those comments. In 2007, videos were obtained showing Hilton dancing to the Biggie song Hypnotize with her sister Nikki, in which Hilton says, "We're like two N-words." The video also saw Hilton call a friend the F-word, while other footage showed her changing the lyrics of Sister Sledge's We Are Family to include racist and anti-Semitic remarks. Expanding on her defense for making the comments, Hilton said that her abusive experience at the boarding schools left her with a severely damaged filter. "I'm grossed out because that means those creepy people got inside my head. I never really left them behind," Hilton writes. "I couldn't party hard enough, couldn't drive fast enough, couldn't crank my music loud enough or vacuum up enough love to make it go away. Sometimes I fell back on that slay or be slain mentality, and I'm not proud of that. I was effed up, okay? And I drank a lot, like a lot." Hilton, who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol in 2006, said she drank to dull the pain, but added that was not an excuse for her use of derogatory language. "Sometimes I was just wasted and being a effing moron. I don't remember half the stuff people say I said when I was being a blacked out idiot, but I'm not denying it." There's a few things I would like to say about this statement. One part that did stick out to me was the lack of accountability and shifting of blame. The traumatic stuff you went through at boarding school is not an excuse, neither is being blackout drunk. Even though she says it's not an excuse, she kind of presents it as an excuse. A normal person or everyday person who has gone through some tough things would not be able to say racist or homophobic things in a workplace or super public place and be like, "Sorry, I'm dealing with childhood trauma. Sorry, I was drunk." There would more than likely be some type of consequence or conflict. And once again, just to reiterate, she was a grown adult when she said all of these things. She was world famous and a tabloid fixture, and she was still allowed so much leniency throughout this entire process, even when it came to addressing or apologizing. And when the heat is finally on and there's a moment for her to truly own up to it and just move past it, she shifts the blame towards her boarding school experience. It's just tasteless, centering yourself as a victim in the midst of something that's supposed to be an apology. It's also kind of manipulative. Nothing takes away from victimhood. You can still be a victim and acknowledge your own faults as well. Her actions reflected how she and her friend group acted and thought. I feel like it would have been a much more sincere response if she just owned up to it completely and honestly. The reframing and rebrand of Paris Hilton is an interesting concept, but perhaps there hasn't been much evolution at all. Maybe she's just more cautious of her public image this time around.